Will you be on the right side of history? That's the subject of today's video, and I'm posing this question to you because people are taking action and our people are taking sides, and it's actually needed in this time. I'll give you an example. So JD Vance went to a concert at the Kennedy Center and got absolutely booed, meaning that people are choosing sides. Like, do we want to side with the Vance Musk Trump people, or do we want to show and express our feelings for this stuff, right? To Vance and them, they think it's funny, haha, we're winning, we're owning the libs, etc. But people are pushing back, and I just want to just remind you every day, as part of this community, you're not alone. I understand it feels like the world is gone mad, but you're not alone. There's a lot of us that can see exactly who these people are, what they're doing, and why the importance of why we have to point this stuff out, what they're up to every day. Because frankly, the Musk Trump, you can talk about Vance if you want, their agenda is to dismantle the infrastructures and the system of America that keeps people safe, that keeps democracy going. For example, this is just a headline just happened an hour ago, and I'm just like irritated. That's why I'm making this video right now. American Airlines passengers evacuate after plane crash catches fire at Denver airport. It's like yet another aircraft incident. So they had to evacuate 178 people. The engine was on fire. It was absolutely insane. They got out in the wing and jumped down the slide, exactly what you think it would be. I just feel like we're going to have probably more of these things. And these days, people are afraid to fly, which I completely understand. There's a breakdown of trust in the system. Basically, Musk has this whole Doge thing. He wants to dismantle the government. He wants to dismantle regulators. He thinks regulators are awful. Musk always complains of like, oh, why can't I just launch as many rockets as I want and blow them up in the sky? And why can't I poison people's water? Why can't I do all these things, for the advancement of going to Mars, which is frankly a pipe dream and a lie in itself and a scam. But that's sort of where we are. And I have to point this stuff out, guys, because this stuff is terrible. We need regulators. We need a system in place. We need protections, right? So for example, and remember, Musk wants to get rid of regulators because he thinks, people that work in government don't have real jobs. He talked about it. We talked about before in part of a video where he calls it the fake economy if you work for the government. But in this situation, say, for example, because I don't know who's at fault here, but to say, for example, let's say it's Boeing, right? Maybe Boeing has some sort of problem with their manufacturing. You would want regulators to do an investigation and make sure everything's safe over there, right? Or let's say maybe there's something wrong with American Airlines. Perhaps they have some miscommunication in their maintenance. I don't know what it is, right? Then you want regulators, investigators that go and figure out what's going on there. Or maybe it's something with the air traffic towers or something like that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's why you want people to be employed with the government to go and investigate this stuff. If you start removing these protections, you're going to get more and more of these kinds of incidents, and people just completely lose faith in the system, which I completely understand. And unfortunately, that's just sort of where we're at right now. And in some ways, I was thinking about this. Is it feels like we have to. I don't know how to phrase it. Just maybe we have to go through a really, really dark time with the Trump and Musk, and then people hopefully wake up and like, oh my God, this is sort of why you don't want people like Musk and Trump in office. There's this self-serving, greedy people that only want to enrich themselves. You're also seeing this distrust in the markets. The market's been down. You guys can see now we're down 10% from the peak. Effectively, we can't make heads or tails of what the heck Trump's trying to do, other than it just looks like you're just trying to destroy the economy and destroy our system. The same with Musk is trying to destroy our regulators. And I know this is a bit of a rant. I just want to express some really sincere feelings of like, this stuff's awful. And when I saw the Vance getting booed, I'm like, I completely understand, right? I'm sure I would boo as well. Because you finally see these people, because you see them, all the stuff that they're doing, and you're just like, hi, you guys are just ridiculously unconstitutional, illegal, and then they just, to them it's all a joke, right? They don't care about regular people's lives at all, and then they try to appoint these kind of clowns. So I guess this guy was going to come in as the CDC head. I guess he was so bad that they would draw the nomination. I mean, because to be further frank, like Trump and Musk can't get good people to work for them, because good people know, like, you don't want to get involved with these kind of people. And that's why, And I know sometimes either Tesla employees watch my channel. I know SpaceX employees, Twitter employees. I'm telling you guys, you do not want to work for Musk in this situation. You want to get out while you can. Do not be tied to any of these people. Same goes with the Trump people. Don't be tied to any of these people because you're surrounding yourself by a bunch of greedy individuals, and there's going to a lot of people going to get hurt, as literally we're seeing it, today with the air situation. On top of that, the Doge cuts are now really affecting universities, and this one even really ticked me off. I'll read the headline here. Johns Hopkins University to slash 2,000 jobs after 800 million in federal cuts. And if you don't know, Johns Hopkins is a really, really big research institution, medical research. A lot of really important stuff goes on over there. For me, this is the strength of America has always been in our science and research, and they want to attack that, meaning Musk and Trump. It's ridiculous, and the jobs not only hurt our research, it affects the local and world economy. This is the what it says here. It says, quote, "This is a difficult day for our entire community," the university said in a statement. Johns Hopkins is immensely proud of the work done by our colleagues to care for mothers and infants, fight disease, provide clean drinking water, and advance countless other critical life-saving efforts around the world. And I was thinking about this because Musk, and it was just recently where he's talking about how federal workers are all part of the fake economy. He thinks your jobs are fake. That was coming from Musk, and Trump said that kind of stuff as well. And they'll attack universities all the time, and then they put all these misleading statements on Doge of like, oh, why would researchers want to study hamsters and sleeping patterns or something stupid like that. They'll put it that way, and it'll be really misleading because, like, yes, this is just a fundamental science. You have to study animals and how they interact with various drugs, or whatever you're trying to test, right? And they'll twist it to make it sound like that people are doing worthless stuff, where in fact it could be AIDS research, which is really important, or cancer research, right, which is important, or research on making better protections against measles, because that's actually a real problem that we have right now, and who knows if that mutates or whatever. I'm just saying, like these are the kind of stuff that are to protect us, right? I don't want planes falling from the sky. I don't want children getting sick, right? I'm not thinking of anything crazy. But evidently, I guess in the Trump, Musk, and Vance world, if you gaslight your followers and act like, oh yeah, universities are so terrible and knowledge is awful and science is absolutely the worst thing, let's just defund all of this. That's sort of what they're up to. Even my University of Pennsylvania, they're on a hiring freeze. Harvard is also. Again, we're talking about cutting money to our research institutions. Again, this is the strength of America. I heard, remember, it was the last time when the whole Musk Trump event, he's making the case that federal funding to universities doesn't help the country, et cetera. Only private companies like Tesla does it. And he would make the case that private companies like Tesla is what raise your standard of living, et cetera. Guys, think about this. If we have advancements in medical research, health research, right? It makes your life better. Like as John Hopkins was saying, hey, clean water, right? Care for children, these kind of things. Like this definitely raises your quality of life by having better healthcare. And that's always been a big sticking point for me about a real negative of some of the cultural problems in the Republican Party. And it's just, I have to mention, call it by name, like they're anti-science. Like it's really a problem, and they're anti-healthcare. And it hurts all of us. And on top of that, guys, I these issues are really, really hard to talk about because it's so complicated. I understand there's a lot of people out there suffering. I get that. I get the appeal of the MAGA stuff. I get it, right? So, in their point of view, they're like, hey, my life sucks. I don't have a job. Trump has promised me a job. Even though he's lying to me, he's promised me a job, right? And like, how do you talk to these kind of people, and how do you understand the problem? There's a great documentary on Netflix. I'm just mentioning to you. It's called American Factory, and it covers the differences in workers in USA and the workers in China, because this is all interconnected. And long story short, there are many older workers in the USA, maybe 40, maybe 50, maybe 60, they're not supported by the system, right? So we have expensive healthcare in USA, we have bad food quality in USA, we have bad infrastructure in USA. So we don't have like basic protections for people. We have very weak unions in USA, like all these things. And then on top of that, you have automation, and then also you have a younger and more willing workforce in China. And willing, it's a complicated issue. You have to see the show for yourself. And it's just see. I mean, I'm trying to be polite about this stuff. It's very difficult to talk about these issues because they're tough. They're really tough. And we're not supporting our own citizens with proper education. And you have to understand like who these kind of people are, be it your Trumps or Musk, wherever. I mentioned this movie several times. I mention movies from time to time if you guys haven't seen it. It's The Apprentice. Basically goes through Trump's early years. You kind of get a sense of who these people are. That their idea is that, hey, all the tax benefits and all the tax dollars should go to me because I can spend it more properly than you other people. That's what it boils down to. They just think they deserve the money because they're awesome. That's what they think. It's a completely corrupt system. But it doesn't have to be that way. There's a couple movies and I understand it's a different country, different history. Some people don't like movies from other countries, but I just encourage you to learn from other places around the world because you'll find that we're all human, right? And for example, this is called 12/12 Today. It's about a military coup, and you'll kind of see how that played out. And this is part of the history of Korea. It's a historically accurate movie, and it's done very, very well. And it shows how people have to effectively choose sides. Which side of history do you want to be on? There's a follow-up movie because this one takes place, I think it was like 1979. There's a follow-up movie that takes place 8 years later because it was a long fight to fight for freedom. And when you put the two movies together, you'll kind of see exactly why I'm talking about this stuff. Because many people who've seen it, because I've recommended it on the channel before, say, yes, exactly mirrors where we are today. Basically, people have to choose which side of history you're going to be on. It's a real challenge right now, and I talked about this before, the possible shutdown of the government. It looks like the Democrats are going to try to work with the Republicans here because they didn't have any good options. You work with Trump and pass their ridiculous budget, right, which is basically cut all infrastructure. The only thing they're going to increase is the military, and then you're weakening our research and all our protections, and then see planes falling out of the sky. The other option would be shut down the government, and then maybe Musk wins because at this stage of the game, Musk wants to fire everyone, and he would use that as an excuse. It's hard to, guys, I can understand. I'm just telling you, I can understand. It's a fickle that we're in because yes, it is a democracy. People did vote for the Trumps, right? They didn't vote for Musk, but Musk is there, and we're seeing backlash, of course. And it's funny because even JP Morgan saying this could be one for the history books. This was something that just came out recently as well. If you want to look at the exact tweet, you totally can. But this was the thing. I'll read it. It says Musk retweets, we'll call it the German guy, didn't murder millions message amid ongoing Nazi controversy. So basically Musk is tweeting out Holocaust denier kind of stuff and, blaming workers. And it's like, it's not even make sense. If you want to read Nazi stuff, you can. That's the kind of stuff that Musk is tweeting out. And of course people aren't going to like him. Of course people are going to boo him. And you should. They live in some weird fantasy land and they're supported by their weird fans. This is the Tesla owner, Silicon Valley is like, this is what they're writing. The duo who will save America from bankruptcy is like that. And it's even funny, even the picture they pose, it's, Trump looking like a clown showman, right? But this is the image I want to show with you guys. We've seen this stuff happen before in the past with the robber barons, where essentially they want to squeeze, the poor people for as much money as they can and take control of the whole system. But it doesn't have to be this way. And effectively, what you have to do on a daily basis is once you show, because I know you guys have conversations with people around you, once you show that Musk and Trump are frankly liars, that you can't believe anything they say, and once there's an understanding that Trump and Musk are in it for themselves and don't care about regular people, then everything else, becomes obvious. You just have to open people's eyes. And one of the best and easiest ways to, make a discussion is like, there's some people who are for education and some people who aren't. And education is really the key to, unlocking, unlocking your potential, unlocking, a better life for yourself and being able to see the light. I try this every day. I was a professor, if you guys don't know, for 10 years, and I try every day just to, share new information and thoughts on how to navigate this world and understand it. And oftentimes I just feel like, as any reasonable, regular person out there, 99.9% of us are workers, right? We're not born with emeralds in our pocket. We're not born with family who's going to give you, $6 million loan to go start whatever, business that you want. That's not the vast majority of us, right? Most of us work for a living. And this is something that like, it should be just a really basic conversation with people is, hey, would you like it if your kids had access to education? If you like it if your kids had access to healthcare, this kind of stuff? Would you like it if things were affordable for you, right? Would you like it if you had a job? And Trump and Musk, once you establish that they're liars, they break contracts, they hate workers, and they want to fire you any chance that they get. And when people see it really affect them, which we're seeing, like I mentioned with John Hopkins situation, or various federal agencies they're trying to fire, and now judges are trying to get their jobs back. You're going to see who's fighting for you, and pay attention to stuff and be on the right side of history of these things. And I understand there'll be people around you who just want to put their heads in the sand and close their eyes, but when it comes and bites them, because again, we're all connected, you'll see it, because every job that is lost, that'll be money taken out of that community to go to everyone else. Like we're all part of the system together, and the system that the Trump and Musk want to make it's unsustainable. Like they want to basically make everyone else poor except for them. They want to have this two-tiered system, and the gap of the rich and poor can keep getting bigger. So I know this is a bit of a ranty video. I was just really upset, honestly, when I saw the plane crash and the defunding of our universities, which in my opinion is one of the hallmarks and strengths of America, is our research, our supporting our education, and being the light to the world in that kind of way. And America can be that. We can, and just got to make it through this dark time. But I can't support education enough, and I just think it's important to bring this stuff to light. So I do appreciate your time, and I catch you on the next video.